Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. This video is going to compress about 16 hours of work installing an entire laundry room full of cabinets. I will go from start to finish and we're going to show how to install custom upper cabinets. I've got a couple of tricks that I've collected over the past couple of years and I am very happy to share them with all of you. So let's jump into this installation and get to work. I did get very lucky on this one, and I was told that the homeowner will be applying shiplap to the walls after the cabinets have been installed. So this means that I can put screws into the wall wherever I would like and do not have to worry about any of the drywall guys getting on my case afterwards. Because of this, I've made this little shelf that I can set cabinets onto when I'm lifting them solo, and this is one of those tips that you just must put into practice if you're doing this alone. Quiet now, intense thinking going on. Another thing that you must do when you're lifting cabinets solo is remember to have your screws and your drill within reach when you start lifting them. Or very quickly you're going to find yourself in a similar situation to me here. For some reason, the idea of taking this box back off the wall never occurred to me. So instead, I just risked life and limb and cabinet just in order to not admit defeat. I start to try and rob a screw from this cabinet that I installed earlier, but I hit it very well. I can't find it for the life of me. Then I move on to this corner where I know I have screws, but they're only 1.5 inches long, so that's not going to make it through the cabinet and the drywall to the studs. Finally, we get her propped up with the 6-foot level. This is not exactly an industry standard, but it's going to work this time. And after all that, she is fixed to the wall and I can take a breath. The next hope is that it's fixed in the right spot. The cabinet that's going immediately to the left is 15 inches deep and the wall is slightly out of plumb, so I would like to have a little bit of room to allow the cabinet to be shimmed to a perfect level. And yeah, that looks just right. I want to take a second look at this here because if this cabinet is not plumb and level, then the next one is definitely not going to be right. So we need to make sure we get this first building block correct before we move on to the next. Now that the first cabinet that extends into the corner is complete and level, we can shift our little shelf to the next wall and get started over there.
It works out most days. There have been a couple times, yeah.
I didn't get a chance to film this step completely, but it was just as simple as carefully lining up some pre-drilled holes and sinking a few screws into the face frame from the inside of the other cabinet.
You got somebody at the back door here.
Using clamps to line up your cabinets beforehand is a must-do. It allows you to manipulate the cabinet a little bit more freely than you could with screws. You can get those faces lined up just perfectly flush and even before you sink screws to fix them there permanently. Putting on these doors is super simple. There's a couple of hooks and latches that just click into place. You just got to give them a little push and they're good to go. Looking good. I mean, look how happy this guy looks. And once again, this shelf is going to allow me to lean all the way across this washer and dryer to put these next couple of cabinets up on the wall. Nice. If you like what you're seeing so far in this video and would like me to continue creating similar videos, then please give this one a like and take 2 seconds to go subscribe. It would mean a lot and would help me out a ton keeping on making these videos. And it's right here at this point that I'm starting to wonder if I'm ever going to learn my lesson and have all my stuff where I need it. You're going to see me do this process a couple of times, and you should listen up if you're taking on a similar project. You need to map out where your studs are beforehand and then mark them on the cabinet box. Drill some holes, and if you're super on top of things, then you can go ahead and start some screws to make your life easier. This is going to save you a bunch of time, and it's going to save a bunch of holes in the back of your cabinet where you missed the stud 5 times before you happen to find one. Come on, man. You got this. It is now the next day, and apparently it's casual Friday. But at the end of the day, yesterday, I installed the boards for the crown to attach to on the top of the cabinets. I was working around some other folks at the end of the day, and I figured they wouldn't love having some random guy record their work also. And if I'm being honest, I couldn't bear the embarrassment of having people know that I was filming myself. Measuring for crown needs to be a very exact science. Any error in the measurement is going to show in the form of huge gaps in your miters or little gaps between the crown and the cabinets themselves. Another common problem with cutting crown molding is not being able to keep it at a consistent angle. And if you can't keep it at a consistent angle while cutting it, then you may as well just plan on not putting it up at all. To accomplish this, there's several different methods that I've seen and have worked well, but here's what I like to do to get it done. You saw me first mark where the crown rests naturally. I mark that with a pencil where the top meets the saw, and then I measure and I mark the same point on the other side. Then, using some super glue on top of some painter's tape to protect my saw, I attach a little straight board all the way across the bed. First, I'll square up the ends on the boards. Then I will carefully measure, and I can confidently cut knowing that all of my angles are going to be the same. Before I put any glue or any nails on it, I'm going to check and make sure that all of my pieces look about right. In case you're wondering at this very moment, did he really cut all of those correctly on the first try? Yes, I did. It's very impressive stuff, I know. My advice is to always glue your outside miters. You never know over time how much those are going to open up. This glue makes sure that it stays the same for all the years to come. Secure all of those with your 23 gauge headless nails, and it's looking very snazzy. And with that, we've reached the end of this. Super satisfied with how this all came out. We'll get a final look here at how the trim looks at the top. Thank you very much if you've stuck with it this long. Really appreciate you watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I guess I'll catch you on the next one.